In Tuesday's packet, we have the chocolate peanut butter bowl page. It's at the very last of the packet. And this is a recipe, so it's probably a pretty good recipe to make if you ever want to try that. But let's read a little bit. This is a reading and thinking. And this is our new little book. And this is a book that it kind of tests, do you understand what you read? And are you thinking ahead? Are you thinking clearly when you do your reading on this? Are you able to take information and use it? Okay? So let's look and see what it says up here. In the chocolate peanut butter balls, it says you take a cup of oats, a third of a cup of honey, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a half a cup of cocoa powder, a half a cup of peanut butter, and a third a cup of toasted coconut flakes. All right. As I'm reading a recipe, whether it's this recipe or any recipe, I have to figure out what is this recipe going to taste like, and is my family going to like it? So if my family doesn't like if my family doesn't like peanut butter, I can't make this recipe because it's got peanut butter in it. And I could leave the peanut butter out, but great day. What would that taste like? I don't know. So I probably am not going to risk it. If my family doesn't like chocolate, which I can't imagine, but if there's a family out there that doesn't like chocolate, then how in the world, I'm not going to make this recipe because it's got cocoa powder. Do you know what that is? It's like chocolate powder. So that would not be good for my family. If my family does not like coconut, don't make this recipe. That's not for them. So when you read your recipe, you have to have in your head, oh, guess what? My family doesn't like peas, or my family doesn't like da-da-da. So whenever you're reading a recipe, you have to keep in your head, okay, this isn't going to work for my family, or this sounds really good for my family. My family loves Mexican food, and this would be a really good recipe if it's a Mexican recipe. Okay, so you're keeping in your head always when you read what it's talking about. So you've got some things there: oats, honey, vanilla, coconut, peanut butter, cocoa, peanut butter, and then coconut. This is what it says to do. Measure and pour each of these ingredients into a large bowl. Okay, pour them, and it says pour them in there and mix them together well. It doesn't say to put in a few at a time. It just says dump the whole stuff in, okay? Cover a cookie sheet with parchment paper. Do you know what that is? Oh, I have a horrible story. I got a brand new oven about 3 summers ago, and I had hardly ever used it, and I never used parchment paper. I'm always just squirting the oil on my pan, and so that it doesn't stick. But I had these chocolate chip cookies, and I had them laid on this parchment paper because I wanted them, because the kids were home from Pennsylvania, and I wanted everything to be just perfect. So I put them into the oven, and everything was fine. The brand new oven, never been used. It's beautiful. Okay, so I put them in the oven, and the cookies were done, and I used my parchment paper, and I picked up my cookie sheet, and it was a flat cookie sheet. I picked it up, and as I tipped it, of course, the parchment paper was slippery, and all of those cookies fell all over my clean, brand new oven. And of course, it was right in the middle of cooking this whole batch of cookies, and it was the worst mess, and the oven was super hot, so I couldn't clean it out very well then. What a mess. Parchment paper that day was not my friend. But it is a good thing to use from time to time. It's a little expensive, so lots of times mommies don't use it. But it's kind of a white paper, and it keeps things from sticking. So, next use a tablespoon and scoop out 1 spoonful of the mixture into the palm of your hand and make it into a ball. Place it on the cookie sheet. Be careful, don't flatten your ball when you place it on the sheet. Continue forming balls until all the mixture is gone. Then place the cookie sheet with your chocolate balls into the refrigerator or freezer, not into the oven. That was so funny because I was thoroughly thinking they were going to put in the oven. But no, they're putting them in the refrigerator. When the balls are firm, take them out and enjoy a tasty, healthy treat. Well, usually we make these in the classroom, and I don't think we got to do that this year. We never roll ours in coconut, but we do use the other part. And because I've always wondered, I don't think we've ever used honey. I think my recipe calls for a little bit of milk and a little bit of butter, not just regular butter. Because I thought about, if you had allergies to dairy products, if you could eat this or not. But anyway, maybe you could eat this. Let's see, oats. Yep, good. Honey, vanilla. So I guess if you do have allergies to gluten or to dairy products, you could pretty much eat these cookies. That might be really good. All right, so now you know a little bit of what it says. Now you're going to answer the questions on the back. The number 2 is an opinion question about what you think. And then number 3 and 4, you should probably figure that out on your own. Okay, good. Hope you enjoyed these little read and thinks. They're just kind of different, kind of fun to do. Okay, bye.